All right, folks. We are live as we always do on a Friday, as we always try to do on a Friday night. I'm, of course, Paul Glasgow with Legally Armed America. And as I typically try to do, I will slowly waltz my way into the room here, waiting for our friends to come on board and come in the room. So I see you guys are starting to pile in a little bit right now. So just out of respect to everybody that's tuning in, I always like to try to start as prompt as I can at 7 o'clock. So that kind of creates typically a delay of folks coming in the room. So I like to give about a 5-minute gap in time to where I can do some shout outs and, tell everybody hi and whatnot. Coming into the room just to be, again, fair to everyone and have a chance to tell everyone hi. And again, so nobody misses the very beginning of it. And I see you guys are piling in pretty good. So let's see here. Why am I seeing comments here but not there? Always a mystery. There's always a gremlin somewhere. Let's see. I still don't see anything. It says my live stream is obviously you guys are on, so it's there. But let me go back a couple of pages here, and then I will see it. Again, guys, I do have my reading glasses on tonight, so I may actually be able to read some of your comments to me tonight instead of my looking from a distance lights glasses, I should say. All right, let's see here, guys. Finally, got it up. Han Solo, what's going on, man? Raymond Ladner's in here. Good evening. Big Mo's in here again. Nice to see you again. Huge Ass is in here. Photography is not a crime is in here, or I guess that Tyrants is part of your name too. Ben Becker, super duper paratrooper. Nice to see all you guys in here. Let's see, Roland Garcia, Ryan Westall, Armando Contreras. Recognize some of these names, guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to kind of get right into what we're going to be talking about. I have been, let's just say, out of pocket for the last couple of weeks. Okay, let's see. 2 weeks ago, I know what it was. 2 weeks ago, I was filming, believe it or not. If you'll look, one of our latest videos, one of our more recent videos, is a video about parking lot safety. And before anybody says anything about the girl in the video, that's my godchild. And that was the only time that I could get her to a popular. I wanted to go to film this video. I wanted it to be during a very popular part of the day. A lot of traffic and a lot of people, a lot of activity. I wanted to, a bunch of cars moving around. So what better time, of course, than say 6:30 on a Friday afternoon to get that kind of video. So that's where we went, and that's where that time was spent. So that's why I wasn't able to do anything, that evening. And then last weekend, what was it last weekend? Was something totally different last weekend. Oh, my son had surgery, some oral surgery last week. And as you guys know, he's special needs. So surgery for us with being special needs parents, it's a little bit different for us. It's not a standard procedure as it might be for anybody else, because he's confused and discombobulated and things like that. So that's why I was out of pocket last week. I just don't want you guys to think that this is not important to me. It's very important to me because you guys show up. So I try to at least show that equal amount of respect back to you all and show up routinely in turn. But again, those last two, one was work related and one was personal. So my apologies to you guys. I should have put something out. The filming 2 weeks ago was kind of last minute, so that was my issue. But honestly, man, last week with the whole deal with my son, totally slipped my mind because we're so kind of, engulfed in taking care of him and whatnot. So anyway, I hope you guys are okay. Hope everybody's doing fine out there. I'm glad to be back doing this again. Let's see, a few things to announce, and let me make some notes here. One thing that I would like to say, and I will mention this again later on in the broadcast, we have been working for, I say we, all of us, I have other people that work with us for Legally Armed America. We have what has evolved into somewhat of a marketing company that assists other firearms companies with some of the things that they do. So what you see on here is not all that we do in the firearms industry. We try to help other companies. We do consulting work and things like that. So it's not just a hobby to us where we just kind of, shoot some video and shoot cool guns and put videos out. It's a behind the scenes business, so to speak, for us. So we'll work for some gun companies that you'll never know about. And in some cases, the gun companies don't want anybody knowing that we work for them. They want it to look like it's all housed inside. As you can imagine, so many of the companies out there today subcontract out a lot of work because it's just cheaper from a benefit standpoint, payroll standpoint, taxes and all that kind of stuff. It's just easier to hire outside consultants, and we're the guys that actually get hired. So we have other people that work with us. We've been working directly. This is our project. We've been working for about a year now on probably maybe a little bit over a year on ideas and things like that for a platform to replace YouTube. And I know that sounds very unusual because we are streaming live on YouTube right now. But as all of us on here know, YouTube is not firearms friendly. YouTube cherry picks what they want to gush about and be proud of, regardless of actually viewers' interest, and then they discriminate against others. And what I mean by that is gun channels. Look, if YouTube didn't value gun channels on YouTube, they would have already kicked everybody off. But they know the massive amount of traffic that we all bring to YouTube. So they don't mind poking us every now and then. They don't mind jacking with us, but they don't want us to leave because they're making money off of us. So they're like poking the bear. They know they're pissing us off, and they'll go so far as to delete channels, YouTube channels, popular YouTube channels out there. And when there's a little bit of pushback, they put it back and they say, oh, sorry, it wasn't our fault. And then unfortunately, us and the viewers out there all forgive YouTube and everything's fine again. Well, we saw this coming years ago, and you know what? The reason why nobody else has come out with an effective platform that's easy to use is because it's not easy to do. So we've actually been working with a German firm for a year now, doing some programming and writing code, and we finally have a finished product, and it will be ready on a stripped down scale. It will be ready probably in a week or so. We're actually working on it right now. We have a working model that we've been looking at, and it's very interesting, very fun. I know there's some other guys out there who have dabbled in this and tried. I've actually created a channel on Full30 and Patreon. And no disrespect to those guys. It's just that the interface is a little bit different for me dealing with them, and the business model that they have is different than what we have. We feel like YouTube has the best business model. We feel like YouTube allowing just anyone who wants, and this is one of the main things, anybody who wants to create videos and upload them can do that on YouTube. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to say that you have to be a content creator or a big shot or a known personality or something like that. We want to let anybody be able to do it, just like YouTube. Again, we like YouTube's business model, not necessarily their philosophy, but we like the way they do set everything up. We're not being shy about this. We're completely ripping off what YouTube has done because it works. If it wasn't for the fascists that run the whole place, it'd be a great platform. But it's just a bunch of liberal ass clowns who run it. So we're creating our own version. It's not going to look just like YouTube because we do see some improvements that we could possibly make. I can tell you that some things that are either going to be available right up front, or we're going to allow them down the road or have them available down the road. You will also be able to store pictures, not just video. If you have an account, you can upload video, but you can also upload photos and pictures. You can basically use us kind of as an iCloud. We will actually have, at some point, I don't think at first we're going to offer this, but at some point we will have, I guess what you could kind of categorize it as a forum or a group. Like Facebook has groups and other websites are forum related or forum based. We're going to offer something like that. So there's going to be a social media component built into this too, not just going through like we do on YouTube right now and just look at videos. We're still trying to work these details out, but we might actually have uploadable space for music as well. So it's almost like you could upload your music like an iTunes and have our platform be a place that you could just say on a Friday night and you're not doing anything, you could go to your account that you set up through our website and just click and listen to your music all night long, kind of like a on-demand type situation with music. There's some other cool components that we're allowing also that we're setting up. And that's what takes so much. When you're building all these things, it's a little bit difficult to build some of these things because obviously YouTube is not sharing their code with us. Clearly they're not. So we're having to kind of reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And any of you guys out there that work in video, and I assume some of you do because you're on YouTube, you know that video is very unstable from a computer standpoint. It's very taxing on a system. So by us creating a system like a YouTube, it's all, for the most part, video based. Your servers have to be strong. I mean, there's a number of things that have to be placed in line. You cannot just go out there and take the cheapest bidder for everything. So anyway, that's my biggest excitement that I have going on right now. I can't wait to do that. And just so you guys know, excuse me, at some point, we're not going to offer that at first because we want to develop things and we want to ease everybody into it, not overwhelm them with too much stuff. But we will have live streaming also. I will probably continue to do my live streaming here on YouTube on Friday nights until we get enough people on that platform. And then what we'll do at some point is then I'll start doing a live stream that's simultaneous on YouTube and on our website. And then at some point I'll just ditch YouTube altogether and we'll just do it on our other website. I can't tell you guys the name of it yet because it's not quite ready, but it will be. I can tell you guys it will be out. We'll be putting videos out promoting it. I just want you guys to know once it's ready to be announced, I will tell you, and this is our project. This is not some other liberal outfit. This is not some other big shot. This is not anyone else that's trying to use our name to do this. It's us. It was our idea. We actually thought of doing this years ago, at least 3 or 4 years ago, whenever we launched Gun District. We were going to try to incorporate this video sharing platform, a video hosting platform, in with Gun District also, but it was way too labor intensive. It would have screwed Gun District up. So we'll do some things with Gun District later on because it needs some work right now. We've been devoting so much of our time to this other website. So again, I know I tried to be short with that, but that's it. I mean, I'm very excited about this. I'm excited to share it with you guys. I'm hoping that we're going to be doing some extensive testing this weekend. And after this weekend, I'm hoping next week that we can go ahead and release it. And it will be a soft release. What we intend to do is release the website and just let people go create their channels and start putting content out there. And then what we'll do is we'll put a press release out after maybe, I don't know, a month, because we want to, it's kind of like a beta testing thing where we'll let you guys go in there, create your channels, use everything, find something that might need work, find something that, our tech team needs to work on, redevelop, or, modify or fix or whatever. You guys will be live beta testers. This will be the actual system that we'll be using. So we don't want to inundate it with 100,000 people on there right off the bat. We're hoping we get a few thousand people on there first, uploading content and telling us what's wrong with it, what works with it. We want to know what works too, so that we can kind of build off of that. So anyway, you guys will definitely be some of the first guys that we'll be introducing to that. And I really, I don't ask for much usually, but I really am going to rely on you guys to give us some hand helping test the site. And then once it's good to go and ready, tell all your friends and people. And, the only way we're going to be able to fight the people like YouTube, because we don't have YouTube money. We'll never have Google money. But the only way we can do that is, of course, with support of people out there. So if nobody goes to it and creates content, if everybody says, oh, there's only, 10,000 videos on there. Well, if no one adds videos to it, then it's never going to have videos. So that's going to be the ultimate thing that we're looking for, is people that are going to help us create that content and put it on there. I think we're going to have a component that's going to allow people to almost mirror their YouTube stuff. In other words, it wouldn't necessarily upload the video to our site. It might read it off of YouTube. That might be one component that we allow. The thing is, YouTube will still be getting those views. And at some point, we want to cut YouTube completely out. And there's going to come a time that when YouTube's tech guys start noticing that traffic from our website that's pointing to theirs and they realize that we're a competitor, they're going to set something up and block us anyway. So ultimately what we want people to do is upload their videos to our website. That way it's all housed internally, and at that point no one can mess with us. These are servers that we either own or we lease through contract obligations. So no one is going to ever be able to shut us down like, say, Shopify did this last week. That'll bring me to my next topic, Shopify. That's the problem that we have right now, guys, that so many of us in this industry are relying on other people and other people's work that we're kind of, unfortunately, we're sitting on top of. You know, we're balancing on top of all these other anti-gun people. And it's just a matter of time before they just shift a little bit and we all fall off the top. What we're trying to do is create an environment to where, with this website, to where we're never reliant on anybody else. We can deal with the most anti-gun people out there, and there's no way they can disrupt our business or our workflow or our videos. And that's important to us. I mean, we know it's a long road. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but we're intent on making this happen. And again, I'm going to rely on you guys. The whole deal with Shopify. The problem with Shopify, for those of you that don't know, Shopify is, let's just call them a third-party company out there that whenever you buy something online, they're one of the biggest, if not the main shopping cart company out there. When you click on a shopping cart to buy something, many times, and most times, you're going through the Shopify system. Now, Shopify, even though you have the appearance, let's use Wyndham Weaponry, for instance. And I'm using them, for instance, because we've actually built their website. If you're familiar with Wyndham Weaponry, if you go to their website, wyndhamweaponry.com, we built that. That's our work. We built their shopping cart. We use Shopify. Shopify is kind of like a credit card company, you know, managing funds and whatnot. It's an external component that's plugged into the actual website. Say like Wyndham Weaponry is its own website, but it reaches out to Shopify when people are making a purchase. Even though it has the appearance of being on Wyndham Weaponry website, it's actually not. That transaction is taking place, excuse me, on Shopify servers. Well, Shopify decided all of a sudden they don't want gun people's money, which I'm happy to not give them that money. The problem is, just like YouTube, just like Facebook, these guys are the biggest and the best in their industry. So most people use them. I don't know what they're expecting. If they're expecting the gun companies to, I don't know, stop selling guns, they're not going to quit the industry. So I don't understand why they're even doing this, because all it does is hurt Shopify. Now, maybe they're of the opinion that we have so much money, we don't need any more money. Maybe that's their thinking. But they are turning their back on money, because they've got to realize that people are not just going, either the companies will go out of business or they're going to go elsewhere. Because now there's no other way for them as a gun company to make money off of using Shopify. The problem is there's a lot of other server-based companies like that, and I may be using some of the wrong terminology. If some of you guys are tech geeks out there, you know, feel free to correct me. But in essence, essentially, I'm correct in how I'm describing it. There are other third-party hosting companies out there, shopping cart hosting companies, just like Shopify. We have found one that is more. It's not a third-party hosting company. You actually purchase the coding from them or the language from them, and you put it on your own server that you actually own or lease, and you create your own, let's just call it your own Shopify type account. So you manage it. So nobody can pull the rug out from under you, because technically the company you bought it from, once you purchased it, you own that. So they don't have any say-so. So that's the cool thing about it. We have found this company, and we're actually working with a couple of gun companies out there that we do work for, to pull them off of Shopify and create their account with this new software. Again, the only real change is when we migrate all of that stuff, we actually have to go in and create it ourselves on our own servers, whereas Shopify hosted it themselves before. So the biggest change for us is finding the server space and now putting that shopping cart on our own servers. Again, I know I may have screwed up some of the language in there, but that's in essence essentially what's going on. So, you know, I can't, I have mixed feelings about the whole Shopify thing. I don't like anyone who is anti-Constitution. I think that that's sad, and it's pathetic, and it saddens me that there are companies out there that are not afraid to show how anti-constitution they are, that they don't believe in the Second Amendment, so much so that they would discriminate against some of their customers who happen to be constitutionalists and support the Constitution. However, it's just like the baking the cake thing, you know, for the gay people, the Christian not wanting to beg for the gay people. That's their right. If they don't believe in guns, just like the cake maker did not believe in the gay people, he shouldn't have to bake that cake. And if Shopify truly feels like we are bad guys, they shouldn't have to do business with us. Which, I don't know about y'all, I don't want to force anyone who doesn't want my money to do business with me. I want them out of my business. So I'm happy to oblige. You know, I wish Shopify would give everybody a little time instead of just flipping a switch overnight and saying, we're not going to support your shopping cart abilities anymore. But I support their decision to do that. That's all part of being American, right? I mean, it's their right to do it. I totally support their right to do it. The reasons are completely twisted and wrong, but the right and, you know, their right to do that and to you know, alienate people based on, you know, beliefs, bring it on. You know, let them do it. I don't have any problem with that. Again, I feel for them. I feel bad for them. I think it's sad. You know, that's no different than, you know, I haven't spoken out much on the whole Alex Jones thing. Surely you guys know who Alex Jones is, and you know the most recent stories about Facebook, Twitter, I think Instagram, YouTube. They all kicked him off of their platforms. Why? Because they didn't agree with him, with his mindset, with his angle, with the news that he was bringing forth. That's just, something's wrong with that. Now, they all have the right to do that, but that's twisted. That is twisted. You are telling me that as a major company, as a huge player in the world, that if you don't agree with what I have to say, I'm going to silence you. Yet, and I'm not trying to make this a Trump thing, yet people are complaining about Trump trying to silence the media because he says a few things about them that he's not happy with them. He hasn't silenced them. None of them are silenced. Whereas Facebook, Twitter, and all those guys, they have silenced Alex Jones. At least they've silenced him to a point where they're not letting him use their platform to say what he's got to say. Again, I'm not a huge supporter of Alex Jones. You know, Alex Jones, for 90% of the time when you listen to him, he sounds like just a kook, and some of the stuff he says is absolutely crazy and insane. And then for 10% of the time, you're like, dude, I'm connecting the dots that you just connected, and you're right. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sad that he can't devote more time to the, I guess, good content. And I guess that's subjective. You know, who's to say what's good and what's bad content? You know, it's whatever content I'm happy with, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this guy is flat out silenced on all these platforms, the biggest and the best platforms out there. And this guy has just been shut down. So that's where the whole Shopify thing, that I think it's dangerous, because, you know, the other companies may see Shopify doing this and say, well, I'm just going to find somebody else. If you find somebody else that's set up just like Shopify, where they host their own servers, don't think all these other companies aren't coming right behind them and doing that. Remember, most of these companies, these tech companies that we're talking about, they're either sitting over there in Silicon Valley or in some of these big liberal cities. So they're all going to follow suit. It's not like there's a tech company a big tech company doing this down in Huntsville, Alabama, or Lake Charles, Louisiana. You know what I mean? They're in these liberal enclaves out there. So you can expect the other companies to follow suit and do the exact same thing Shopify is doing. So don't be hoodwinked into thinking that, just move to somebody else. No, you got to move to somebody else that has a totally different setup. That way you can't have that rug pulled out from under you again. Anyway, guys, it's sad. I'm very big on liberties out there. So I believe whenever a company is well within their right to limit people's access to their product, that's their right to do it. You know, I don't have to agree with the reason, but I certainly agree with why they're doing it. I mean, it's their right. What we're going to try to do on our new website when we put it out there is we will keep an eye out for racism. terrorism. We're not going to be like YouTube, where YouTube allows ISIS to upload videos of people's heads being cut off, where they're okay with that, but they're not okay with me showing you how to draw a Glock from a holster in appendix carry. Terrorism's not going to be allowed on there. ISIS is not going to want to be on our website. So there will be few things that we do restrict from there, but we will have some things. There's probably going to be a top 3 or 4 things that we will not allow. Pornography, obviously, we're not going to allow that either. So there will be some things that we will not allow, but it's not going to be hobby or lifestyle type stuff. I mean, let's use homosexuals, for instance. As long as there's no homosexual pornography on there, I don't give a crap if gay people are on our website. I don't care what they upload. I don't agree with the lifestyle, just like this guy over here at YouTube doesn't agree with my lifestyle choices in dealing with guns, but I'm not going to kick him off of my platform because of it, because why would I do that? That's just not the right thing to do. Again, it doesn't, my allowing him to be on there does not mean that I agree with everything that he does. God knows that's not the case, you know, but I'm not going to kick him off as a result of it. Again, as long as there's no pornography, hate, racism, or anything like that. So we are going to be very strict about what we don't allow on there. And again, it's going to be a very small list, but we will monitor what's being uploaded to. So speaking of uploading, I started today working on my video series of the caliber throwdown, where we are comparing the 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 45 ACP. I started that today. I want to give a huge shout out to Armscore Ammunition. Armscore is providing all of the ammo. I got 3,000 rounds of ammo sent to me from those guys last week. Big shout out to Armscore. They support us in so many ways. Like most of the people that we actually have interact that support us on our show, we actually like their products first, and we sought them out to see if they wanted to be involved in our show because we like their products so much. Armscore is one of those. I've always been a big fan of Armscore Ammunition. I like the fact that it's affordable. I like the fact that when I chrono it, it's consistent. So I use them. I sought them out, and then they just agreed to be a part of our show. So big shout out to them. They're providing all the ammunition. I've got some other things coming up that we're going to be doing with them also. Very excited about that. Can't talk about everything right now, but some really cool stuff with Armscore. So kicked off the series today, and I wanted to show you guys some of the cool things that I'm working with this on the series. This is pretty neat. A Luger P08. I guess you'd call it World War I, World War II era. Pretty cool. Pretty cool gun here. Pretty cool setup. I've also got, this is kind of neat. There's some cool history behind this. This is a Browning High Power. This is a neat gun, man. I mean, you can see the wear on it. Some really cool stuff. This, I was lucky enough to deal with a company who got me this gun, and they gave me, and I'll hold it up here for a second. I contacted them after I got it, and I wanted to know a little bit about the history of the gun. Clearly it's a used gun. Clearly it's imported, because I don't know if you can see it. Those are import marks right there on the bottom side of the frame. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but again, those are the import stamps. So you know it's imported when you see that. And this company, I contacted them who imported them, and what they told me was very interesting. There was a series of guns just like this, a bunch of Browning High Powers they were made in Belgium in 1993, and the guns were shipped down to Israel. These were actually the sidearms of the Israeli police for many, many, many years. And you can see holster wear. I mean, it looks almost like somebody Cerakoted this thing and created like fake holster wear, but there's holster wear on all the seams. You can tell this thing rode in a holster a lot, you know, a long time. But it was Israeli police officers. This company that I'm dealing with, actually, all of these got boxed up and were put out to bidders worldwide, and this company won the actual bid to purchase all of these. They won the bid, they imported all of them, again, stamped them, and now they're selling them off. So kind of cool. I have not shot this yet. I just got it in yesterday. So I will be shooting it this weekend. I'll actually have some video of it this weekend also, but I'm really excited about this. You know, what a great gun. The last gun that John Moses Browning had any input on. Nice gun. It's funny because that gun is super, super, super popular worldwide, and much less so in the United States. I think a lot of it had to do with the 9mm, which I'll talk a little bit about that in my 9mm video. But you know, the rest of the world gravitated to the 9mm so much quicker than we did. We liked our big bore guns, our 38s, 357s, our 45 ACPs. So we didn't get into the you know, the high power quite as much as the rest of the world did, because we simply weren't into the 9mm like the rest of the world was. So that had a lot to do with it. But I'll be shooting that. I'm setting my video series up. Today was the first video that I shot. And the way I'm setting it up is I've got the first video. I'm doing the 3 calibers. I'm doing the history of each one first. So the first one is, I'm just going in terms of size, not favorability or anything like that. I'm doing the 9mm first, the history of the 9mm. Next, I will do the history